Hi, and welcome to the Higher Education Access Corner. I'm your host, Tiffanie Devan, and today we are going to be talking about scholarships. November is National Scholarship Month for those who don't know. So this is a great time to raise awareness about scholarships. It's also a great time for those who are looking for money for school to actually start the scholarship application process. Now, with that said, I'm really excited to have joining me today for today's episode, Shawna Newman, Managing Editor and Writer at Fastweb. Fastweb was the very first college scholarship search website ever for those of you who are not familiar with Fastweb. So Shawna, thank you for joining me today at the Access Corner and welcome.
Hi, Tiffany. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Absolutely. Now, before we dive in, I am going to read Shawna's very impressive bio. Shawna Newman, again, as I stated, is the Managing Editor and Writer at Fastweb. A graduate of the University of Central Missouri, she holds a Bachelor of Science degree in Public Relations. Prior to this role at Fastweb, she spent nearly 11 years as a Senior Marketing Specialist at UCM. Now, during this time, she worked with the Admissions, Career Services, and Financial Aid offices, including various program coordinators and college deans. She also mentored student employees. A first-generation college graduate, Shawna values tools like Fastweb and believes that all seeking a college degree should have access to financial resources to attain their goals. Shawna calls Kansas City, Missouri, her home. So again, welcome. And I think this is going to be a good and interactive conversation because here at the Access Corner, it's all about access and affordability. So let's get started by just talking about what is Fastweb, for those who don't know.
Hi, so Fastweb is a free scholarship search platform that's available for high school, college, and vocational students to look for scholarships that'll help them pay for school.
Great. And how does it actually work? Like for those who aren't sure what this process is like when they're going onto the platform, how does it work?
Sure. So when you set up a Fastweb account, you'll be asked some questions to get your background, right? So we'll use your GPA, your interests, your possible majors to help find scholarships that will fit you.
Yeah, so sort of like a series of questions and
Absolutely.
when they're doing their profile to go through. And then who can actually use it? Like, is it just for that high school student who's going into school for the first time? Can someone who's already enrolled in school use it? Who can use it?
Yes to all of that. So it's not just for high school students. It's for current college students, even grad students, and educators as well, and parents. Everybody has the possibility to create their Fastweb profile.
And how much does it cost?
It is free, 100% free. Yeah. And it's open. So you need to be 16 years of age or older to create a Fastweb profile, and you must have a United States postal address.
Okay, so that's not bad at all. And a lot of times when we're holding financial aid presentations and nights, things like that, we always talk about Fastweb. So hopefully most of our listeners are familiar with it. If not, by the time they're done with this, we're done with this podcast, they should know a lot more about it. Another thing I want to talk about, let's just talk about some scholarships in general. What are the different types of scholarships that are available to students?
Yeah, so generally speaking, there are two types of scholarships. You have your merit-based scholarships and your financial needs scholarships. So merit-based scholarships, right? Those are for students that might excel in a particular area. And this can include academics, the arts, such as band or theater, and even athletics. I like to mention too that many universities use merit scholarships as a recruitment tool. And this is absolutely okay. It just gives the students more options, right, when they're deciding on which school they're going to go to. Financial need-based scholarships. So these are scholarships that are designed for students that have financial barriers. And some scholarship providers require proof that you have a financial need. And completing your FAFSA is going to be the method you'll use to prove this. Your FAFSA is your free application for federal student aid. And one example of a scholarship that actually has this requirement is the Dell Foundation Scholars Program. So in order to qualify for that scholarship, students have to be Pell Grant eligible. And to showcase that you're Pell Grant eligible, you would need to complete your FAFSA.
Were you going to add more? I didn't know if you were going to add
Well,
more.
yeah,
We're
I
good.
was going to add that, both the merit and needs-based scholarships. So those can be national, regional, and local scholarship opportunities. And employers, colleges, and special interest groups can be the sponsors of both of those types of scholarships.
Absolutely. And sometimes when we're just talking to students about financial aid and the scholarship pieces, I always tell students, when you're thinking of those national organizations, think about the products and the brands that you use. What do you wear? Are you wearing certain designer brands? Are you eating from certain chain restaurants? Go to their websites to see if they offer scholarships, because in fact, many of them do. So if you're giving your money to them on a regular basis, when it's time to help pay for those post-secondary expenses, see if you can get some of that back through the form of a scholarship. So that's great information for the students, great information for the parents or any listeners who are there and can share this information with students who need some funding. So let's talk about a few tips that might. No, go ahead.
I was going to mention, actually, we are going to be producing an article that highlights those big brand name scholarships. So you're absolutely right. Pay attention to what products you use daily, because odds are they might have an opportunity.
Absolutely. Yeah. So looking forward to the article too.
Yeah.
Let's share a few tips that might assist students with securing the scholarship that are out there.
Yeah. So generally, I like to provide 4 tips. The first tip is to search early, right? The sooner you can familiarize yourself with scholarships and financial aid, the better off you're going to be. Maybe you're just a high school freshman, right? And you've stumbled upon a few scholarship opportunities, but you're not quite ready to apply for it. The application window hasn't opened yet. You can use your freshman year and sophomore year to help build upon, right? To help gain those credentials to make you a great candidate. Also, familiarizing yourself with financial aid too is another tip I like to provide too. I think it's important to mention that connecting with your high school counselor is also important. They can provide scholarship advice. They'll provide you with scholarship opportunities, let you know when something's become available. And they're your advocates, right? They're going to help guide you to your next step on your journey.
Absolutely. And then also, when it's time to gather the information, do you have some tips on what makes it a little easier for them?
Yes. So my next tip is, when you gather your information, follow your instructions. But before we get to the follow the instructions part, I want to mention a tip. I like to suggest that students create an electronic scholarship folder, right? So in this folder, you can house things such as your letters of recommendation, your transcripts, your essays, items that you might need to complete a scholarship application, right? So when you have this available, it's going to make it so much easier to apply for those scholarships. It's going to be less of a hassle, right? That's a bit of information I think can be helpful for students.
I agree. It helps them to knock out those scholarships a lot quicker because they already have all the information in one key location. I think that's a great idea.
Yes, and I forgot to mention another part on the follow the instructions part, right? So many of us, right, when we write an article or a story or an essay, we have somebody proof it. I suggest that students, once they feel like they're ready to submit their scholarship application, that they have somebody proof it, right? So have them review those scholarship requirements and have them look at your package that you're about ready to submit. That way they can check to see if you've missed anything. Because if you forget to submit something, your scholarship application is going to go out the window. It's not going to be looked at.
And who wants to do all that work and just miss one little thing, and then you miss that opportunity? So I always say, don't leave any money on the table. So make sure that you've checked everything off and you had someone proof it. Absolutely. Those scholarships, sometimes you hear students say, well, you know what? I know that there's certain scholarships that are out there, but it's only $100. It's only $200. Any advice for that student who wants to pass up a very small award amount?
Yeah. So we had talked about those big brand scholarships, and usually those have some large award amounts tied to them. Here's the thing with those. They're great opportunities and you should definitely apply for them, but you need to know that the applicant pool for these big brand, big awards is huge. So your odds of winning them are a lot smaller. Those $1,000 or $500 scholarships, or even the essay scholarships, the applicant pool is quite a bit smaller. So your odds of winning those scholarships are quite a bit higher. Don't overlook them, right? The more you apply for, the more you're going to win. And $500 adds up here or there.
Yeah. And I always say when I'm talking to students and they say that, they'll say, "What? It's only $100." I'm like, "But it is $100. $100 will cover something." So, and like you said, every little bit does add up. Now, for the students who are not sure, prospective students who aren't sure, when should they be looking for scholarships and how often should they be applying? What are some tips that you can give for them, or advice that you have for them?
So first off, I like to state that, apply for scholarships in the timing that works for you, right? But before you do that, set up some scholarship application goals. Create a habit. Your goals can be something as simple as apply for 2 scholarships a month or apply for 4 scholarships a week. Create these goals that work for you. Make sure they're reasonable and attainable, because if you can't make the goal, you're not going to get into the habit, right? Do what works for you. Also, sticking to your goal. So in life, you're going to have times that are incredibly busy, and then times that, you have some extra time. Those times that are busy, if you have a busy semester, it's okay to apply for those quick apply or easy scholarships. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Just take it one day at a time, and sooner or later you're going to get into a habit. It's not going to be such a reach or a hurdle to complete those scholarship applications. I do want to mention one of our, I think it was 2022 sweepstakes winners, said that she had a daily goal to either, one, identify a scholarship that she was going to apply for, or to just spend 10 minutes on a current scholarship application. And I think she mentioned even just writing 150 words for an essay that she's going to submit. That was her goal, and it worked for her. She said that eventually she got into this mindset that it wasn't hard to do, and it became a habit for her. Obviously, it worked because she won one of our sweepstakes.
Nice. Now, as students are doing their scholarship searches, they're checking out different websites, Fastweb, of course, being a very secure one that I know you can talk about a little later, but unfortunately, not everyone offering a scholarship is legit. What can students do to recognize or avoid those scams?
Right. So 2 huge red flags are, actually, let me take that 3. If you have to pay to apply for a scholarship, that's a red flag, right? Scholarships are built to pay you to go to school. If they ask for personal information, such as your social security number or your bank account information, then you need to drop everything and run the other way, right? That is a scholarship scam. And, that's why I'm obviously going to plug in Fastweb here, because we have an amazing research team that vets these scholarships. So nothing will go in our database that's going to be a scam. We serve as a scholarship scam firewall, if you will.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty impressive. And not all websites are that way. Not all platforms are that way. So I'm sure students can appreciate that, knowing that they're going to the website and it's going to be something that's already vetted out.
Yeah, now, absolutely. And if you do choose to search for scholarships elsewhere besides FAFSA, that's certainly okay. Just make sure to look out for those red flags. You need to be your own advocate there.
Right. I totally agree with that. Now, in addition to the student, does Fastweb have anything for parents or educators who want to support the students throughout their scholarship search?
Yes, we do. Absolutely. So, our Fastweb for Educators program is available for high school, vocational school, and college administrators or counselors. With that program, there are a variety of free tools that are available to you. You have access to an annual printed handouts you can sign up to receive, digital handouts as well. And we have 2 really cool electronic pieces for our educators. We have the Scholarship Widget program, which is a plugin that you can place on your school's website. And then we have our List Builder program, which would help an educator build a scholarship list and send that and share that with your students.
So the list builder, just
Go ahead.
to help me out a little bit. So the list builder is one that they're actually building the list themselves to share, to kind of like make it more personalized.
Right. So they could
Is that
go
how that
in.
works?
Right. So maybe you're an educator in Missouri, right? You can narrow the list down that finds scholarships in the Missouri region or state. You really can tailor that list builder and send that out accordingly.
Nice.
Yeah.
Um,
And I do want to mention too, parents also can use our educators page. Those resources are free to them as well. Many will print off these pieces and hang them on the refrigerator. That's certainly okay. But I do want to mention, we do have a parents channel on Fastweb. This channel, we cover anything from financial aid for parents to, how to parent your current college student who might be struggling. So make sure to check out that channel as well. To get to both of those, I should mention, for the educators page, you would visit fastweb.com/educators. And for the parents channel, you can, same thing, fastweb.com/parents.
all right, sounds good. And then for the parents, I think that's really good, because a lot of times you'll get parents on there, and sometimes, I know parents will kind of like do all the work for the student, and which you don't want them to do. You want the students to have a piece and the parents to have a piece. So you kind of have work set aside for both. And I think that's a great thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, something else to talk about, because it is National Scholarship Month. How is Fastweb actually celebrating National Scholarship Month?
So, of course, we're going to celebrate National Scholarship Month. It's our month. It's what we do. I'm really excited about that. One opportunity, it's probably my favorite, is our $1,000 National Scholarship Month sweepstakes. So in order to apply or enter for the scholarship, you would need to log into your Fastweb account and answer one multiple choice question. And even better is that there is no wrong answer, right? So whatever you answer is going to be the correct answer. And we're encouraging students and parents to log in daily to enter. That's just going to boost your odds of winning. If you don't have a Fastweb account, now would be the perfect time to set one up. Another point that I would like to bring up is our most recent sweepstakes winner mentioned, actually a couple of them mentioned, that they have created some sort of reminder. One created a phone reminder to have them enter it daily. I felt like that was really helpful, and obviously it showcases that it works, right? They were a winner. So I want to mention that too.
Nice. And then what other opportunities do you have in addition to them going to like fastweb.com, some of your social media pages? If they go to your social media pages, will you be able to see that information as well, or any opportunity?
Yeah, and so tied to social media this month, we're gonna be featuring some unique scholarships on our social media channels. So we'll be doing scholarship Saturdays and scholarship Sundays. So be sure to check those out. And on the social side, we're on a lot of platforms. So pick your favorite platform. We're probably there. We're on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Twitter. To find us, you could use the handle @PayingForSchool. I also want to mention that this is not just for students. Everyone's welcome. So we encourage high school counselors, educators, administrators to follow us on social media as well.
Nice. And you have a platform, if they use, is it @PayingForSchool?
Correct.
They'll be able to find you easier on your social media platforms that they have out there. And I have to say, I actually did go out there and check out some of them. So you all have a lot of cool information. You have tips that are out there. And I did see even some little video reels that had information for students and families, all about scholarships and opportunities. And it wasn't just scholarships, it's about financial aid in general. So there is a lot of information I think students can take advantage of, parents, educators can all take advantage of. I think it's a great opportunity, because it is National Scholarship Month, that students can go out there for the Saturdays and the Sundays. What is it? Super Sunday? I'm going to screw that up.
So
called
I'm
your Saturday, your Sunday.
you got it. Scholarship Saturday and Sundays. Yeah.
Got it. All right. I think that's pretty cool too. And so for all of our listeners out there, I think you've given us a good bit of information, great tips and tools about how to search for scholarships, how to be prepared, how to create that profile that is out there for Fastweb, and even how to figure out how to avoid some of the scams that could come from other platforms throughout a search. Is there anything else that you'd like to share with our listeners that we've not yet covered?
Yeah, so I just want to talk in general. There are a variety of scholarship sites available, and we encourage students and families to just check them out, see which platform works best for you, and use that. Um, College students, there are quite a few, many universities offer their own scholarship search tool. So see if that's available to you and find out how you can access that. It's important too for parents and students just to be active and listen to their communities and employers, because there are sometimes scholarship opportunities that pop up through those avenues. And you would be the first to know about that. So don't be afraid to keep your ears and eyes open, right? Looking for those scholarship opportunities. And somewhat tied to scholarships, I feel like it's important for students and families to familiarize themselves with financial aid in general at both the federal and state level.
Absolutely, because scholarships are all a part of financial aid, but they're not the only piece to
Correct.
financial aid. And of course, here with FIA, we talk about that. We train them on that. So it's everything from your grants and your scholarships, work study, student loans. But of course, if you can get the free money first, that's where we want to go. That's the gift aid. So I think it's valuable information. I am so grateful for you to take some time out of your busy schedule to join me on the podcast for National Scholarship Month. I'm certain that our guests are going to get a lot of good nuggets out there. Remember, for our listeners, it's fastweb.com, where you can actually go to get a lot of the information and also visit them on the platform. Shawna, again, I thank you for joining me at the Higher Education Access Corner. For all of our guests, thank you all for joining and listening, and we'll see you next time.